If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The investigator says regardless of who it is, and your answer is, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
But I don't think it was my family, is what I say.
Different now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what I
today,
said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's not
No
right.
further questions.
Welcome in, everybody, and thanks for being here for the latest episode of Why Wendi Adelson is Going Down. And why is this reason that Wendi is going down?
Georgia.
That's right, it's none other than the amazing Georgia Cappleman. Now, I just want to welcome everyone in. If you're new to the channel, if you could like, sub, share, comment on the video, even if you're in the chat for the premiere, it would be greatly appreciated. But this video is about Georgia Cappleman, who I believe will ultimately take down Wendi Adelson. Let's take a look at what Georgia Cappleman is all about. She stands for justice, as you can see. She went to Florida State University College of Law from 1998 to 2001, then immediately became a deputy assistant state attorney in March of 2001 for 1 month. Then she became the chief assistant state attorney from March 2001 to the present. As you can see here, she says, as a prosecutor at the state's attorney's office, I am an expert trial attorney and advocate who has worked in the legal profession for 2 decades. My goal is to help victims of crime and their families get justice. And that's what she's going to do. Wendi Adelson, now remind me again, what did she do? Where did she work? Let's take a look at the first time Wendi was on the stand in front of Georgia Cappleman.
All right, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
My name is Wendi Adelson, W-E-N-D-I-A-D-E-L-S-O-N.
How are you employed, Miss Adelson?
I'm an attorney.
All right, and do you know...
Microphone up just a little bit, if you would, please, ma'am. All right.
I'm an attorney.
All right, how were you employed back in 2014?
I was employed at FSU Law School.
Okay, and were you a member of the Florida Bar at that time?
I was.
So Wendi was an attorney who worked at FSU. Who else was an attorney who worked at FSU? Georgia Cappleman was a professor in the fall of 2018 at Florida State University. And who else, of course, was a professor at FSU and also an attorney? You guessed it, Dan Markel. So we have an attorney who has an attorney on the stand who is prosecuting a case against another attorney who all worked at FSU. And you don't think that Georgia wants Wendi to go down so badly? She did everything the right way. She is the state prosecutor, and now she's got this piece of garbage, Wendi Adelson, who put a hit on her husband, who also happens to be an attorney. You don't think this is a little personal for Georgia? I think so. And what I want you to check out here is a little montage I made of her interactions with Wendi in the first trial. And then I made another one at the most recent trial. And boy, oh boy, it's something.
And does your family have a dental practice in South Florida
They do.
that they own and operate?
They do.
Okay. Is your family in South Florida wealthy? I know it's a relative term.
Are you asking me to speculate?
No, I'm asking if they're wealthy. You may, if you don't know, you say you don't know.
It depends how you define wealthy.
Okay. Are they millionaires?
No.
Okay. Would you describe your parents as being over-involved in your personal business?
As compared to other people's parents?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I noticed in the emails that your mother referring to, who I think is Dan Markel, as Jibbers. What does that mean?
Jibbers was a nickname that I gave Danny when he was being really difficult and causing me a lot of pain. Was sort of a nickname I gave him to make him feel less threatening.
So it was a derogatory thing.
I wouldn't say it was derogatory.
Did you call him that to his face?
No, I called him Danny to his face.
Okay.
And gibbers would be what? How would you spell that?
I don't know that I ever spelled it out. In the emails,
My
I think
detective
it's
test
spelled with a
determined
J.
that was a lie.
I guess you could spell it with a G.
Jibbers.
That would be one way to.
Ms.
spell it.
Adelson, you had Mr. Markel's phone number programmed into your phone as Jibbers, didn't you?
That's right.
You liar!
You did not pull up to the crime scene tape on Truscott Drive?
No. I was driving on Centerville Road, and sometimes I would take the shortcut through Truscott.
Yes, ma'am.
But when I was driving on Centerville Road, I saw some sort of tape or obstruction, and so I didn't turn.
Okay. Okay, so you ended up moving there permanently.
I wouldn't say it's permanent, but I'm living there right now.
Okay. Well, it's been 5 years.
It has been a while. I've been exploring options for employment in many different places.
Okay. The name?
I did.
Okay. And that was a name that came from Dan Markel's deceased maternal grandmother, is that correct?
The name started with an A, which was to honor my grandfather, Aaron Adelson, and the second half of his name was to honor Danny's grandmother.
Okay.
So we lost an honor to both families.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
And that was Georgia's first interaction with Wendi in a trial. And you could tell she knew she was lying, but she kind of just would pause and not really call her out on it. Now let's take a look at Chuckles, the periodontist murderer trial. Let's see how she reacts to Wendi here. She starts off a little slow, but man, when she gets running, watch out.
Look into purchasing a home here in Tallahassee.
I did.
And did your brother Charlie convince you not to do that?
I don't remember him convincing me not to. The only reason why I didn't was because I was waiting on the money from Danny from the settlement, and he didn't pay it, so I couldn't afford the house.
And your mom didn't want you to buy the house, did she?
That's not true. My parents were looking to buy a house in Tallahassee as well.
Okay. Did you have... Strike.
I mentioned lots of people that I thought could be responsible.
Okay. And of the lots of people that could have been responsible, your family was one.
Yep.
Because they might have done this thinking it would help you. I mean, that's what happened, right?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Your family had your ex-husband killed to try to help you, didn't they?
No, that's completely untrue. Motion to relocate.
Why was he so adamant and so confident that this was the real reason you wanted to be down there?
I think there's a lot of things in these pleadings that are not true, so just because it says something doesn't make it true.
Sure, but did he know that your mom was just grinding on this issue of trying to get you down there?
He would have had no idea.
He wouldn't have been, that wouldn't have been known to him?
I don't think so.
He was never described as abusive.
I mean, he was described as emotionally abusive, yes.
Can you show me where he was described as emotionally abusive in any of those items?
Well, not by my mom, but in the pleadings.
Okay, show me that.
It's going to take me a while to find it.
Okay, well, it's
You want me to
not in there, but you can get back to me
Well,
with
it is in there.
Objection, Your Honor. The comment, she's not testifying.
Hold on, please approve.
June Mchinda. Do you know which one that is?
When you say, do I know which one that is? She's not in the picture.
No, ma'am. You're one of your brother's girlfriends, June Mchinda. Do you know her?
I met someone named June.
Okay, and would you agree that was also after Catherine Magbanoa?
Yes, that would have been after.
When did you learn that Catherine Magbanoa was blackmailing your brother? for the murder of your ex-husband?
Today.
So he never told you?
No.
You testified in Catherine McManama's murder trial last year, didn't you?
I did, yes.
And she was convicted.
She was convicted, yes.
Of murder.
Yes, of murder.
Of murdering Dan Markell.
Of murdering my children's father, yes.
A crime for which she apparently is innocent because she was just a conduit for Sigfredo Garcia. Did you learn that today along with all of us?
Well, I learned that someone made that argument. I don't know whether it's true or not true.
Okay. You have no knowledge of it.
I have no knowledge.
In all the years this has been pending,
In all of the years this has been pending.
your brother has known who killed your child's father, and you didn't know.
I did not know.
Was the murder of Dan Markell your dad's big gift?
I mean, that's, of course not. That's a horrible thing to say.
What about well,
I'm happy to chat or meet with you. Maybe we can go for a walk at school or something like that. Let me know.
okay. So that particular voicemail doesn't sound very emotionally abusive. Would you agree with that?
No, by this point in time, we were parenting really well and we were doing just fine.
Getting along great.
Objection, Your Honor. Move to strike.
I'll strike the comment, Your Honor.
Please move on.
About the fact that a murder occurred, but I guess I don't understand the question.
But you never talked to him about the suspicions you raised in the law enforcement interview that your brother might have done it.
No, I did not.
You suspected your brother could have been a part of this, right?
I suspected lots of people could have been a part of it.
But he was one of the people, right?
While I was talking with law enforcement for 6 hours, terrified out of my mind, I offered them every possible idea I could come up with.
Right. And one of the possible ideas was that your brother could have murdered your child's father.
I didn't really believe that was possible.
Was part of the plot for you to be able to have plausible deniability about this?
Absolutely not.
Is it better for both you and your brother if you don't know the details of this?
I don't even understand the question that you're asking me.
When did you first become aware that you might be a suspect in this case?
I mean, as the ex-wife, I assumed I was a suspect from the beginning.
What was your first thought when you were asked if anyone might have murdered Dan Markell for your benefit?
I thought, oh my God, maybe if I hadn't divorced him, he would still be alive. Maybe this is my fault because I complained to the wrong person. Maybe Danny gave a student a bad grade and they came after him. I just was trying to think of who possibly could have wanted to hurt him.
But you didn't say any of that before. I mean, the first thing you said was Charlie, right?
I don't think so.
You say no, and when Isom starts to ask you what good does it serve, you say, I mean my brother, the one, his name is Charlie. Isn't that how it went?
This is the transcript, but I think there's also inaccuracies in the transcription.
Oh boy. All right. Do you want the culpable parties held accountable for murdering the father of your children?
Absolutely. I'm grateful they're already in jail.
But not if it's your family.
It's not my family.
I mean, somebody hired them, right?
Not necessarily.
Somebody paid them.
I learned something this morning.
Yeah, me too. You didn't want them held accountable if it was your family members. Didn't you tell law enforcement that?
That's not what I told law enforcement.
What did you tell law enforcement?
I told them that the person who did this should be held responsible and that I had nothing to do with it.
Page 122, lines 7 through 12. If somebody tried to kill my ex-husband, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The investigator says regardless of who it is, and your answer is, I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother.
But I don't think it was my family, is what I
Different
say.
now, isn't it?
No, it's not different. That's exactly
different
what I
today,
said
isn't
right
it?
here. No, that's not
No
right.
further questions.
Cross-examination.
Judge, may we do a sidebar first?
Very briefly.
Very briefly.
Boo, Wendi. Liar.
So as you can see, Georgia is completely done with Wendi. She has had it with her, and she's coming for her. And just remind me, how is Georgia done with her cases so far?
State of Florida versus Sigfredo Garcia. We, the jury, find as follows: as to count one, the defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Georgia.
In the case of the state of Florida versus Catherine D. Magbanowa, case number 2016 CF 3036 and 2018 CF 497. We, the jury, find as follows as to count one. A, the defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Georgia.
In the Circuit Court of the Second Judicial Circuit in and for Leon County, Florida, the state of Florida versus Charles Adelson, case number 2016 CF 3036B, verdict. Count one. We, the jury, find as follows as to count one of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Georgia.
And remind me, Georgia, are you done, or should we keep watching for further developments?
Stay tuned.
So, in my opinion, there ain't no way Georgia's coming home without a conviction of Wendi Adelson. First, she's going to get her mom, and then she's going to get her. So, if you like this video, if you could please hit that like button. Rashi, if you're watching, subscribe, like, comment. They're all greatly appreciated. All the views. And Wendi, if you're watching.
Wendi, I'm home.
Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.